Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Blink October here, and welcome to the first episode of a nice little series called Trapped. This is a series dedicated to showing off some of the frame traps in Mortal Kombat X. If you don't know what a frame trap is, let me try to explain it as simply as possible. A frame trap is basically you do a move that's positive on block, and then you execute another move after that. Not a cancel, not a string. You just do another move afterwards. You take the positive number that you get on block, and then you subtract that from the number of startup frames of the next attack you're doing, and that is the frame gap. That is how wide the gap is that your opponent can do some sort of a reversal. So the bigger the gap, the more your opponent has a chance of doing a reversal to get out of it. The smaller the gap, well, if your opponent tries to do anything, they're going to get hit and you're going to open them up for more damage. This is actually really cool to do, and it is very practical in this game. But you'll hear more about this probably on the Street Fighter side of things, but I feel like this works very well in Mortal Kombat X. And I have tried to apply it in my play, and I can tell you, yeah, I mean, at least against the people I play against, it works. Now, disclaimer before I get started, the reason that we are all gathered here today is that frame traps can actually be pretty much broken out of by EX reversals. So if your opponent has a good, fast EX reversal, they'll be able to armor through your next attack and, you know, just hit you for damage. So keep that in mind. These do not stop EX reversals. And also, you as well, the person that is doing the frame trapping, you can actually go into an EX special move of your own for the second move in your little frame trap string to possibly armor through your opponent's reversal and get some damage of your own. But you don't really want to do that because you still eat damage and you spin the bar. These are guaranteed frame traps that I'm going to show you that will make it so you don't have to spin bar, you don't have to do a bunch of crazy stuff, you just do that and that. That's all you have to do. Anyway, here we go. The first character we're going to do for this series is the newest character that came out literally, I'd say like at about 11 something last night for Combat Pass holders on the Xbox One, but I think she's officially out today for everyone else that has the Combat Pass. So on the PS4, if not, you can correct me on that. She's going to be coming out for everyone next week. This is Tanya. She is back from Mortal Kombat 4. She's got some dirty stuff. So let me go over her non-variation exclusive frame trap starters before we get going. So her forward 3, you can actually charge it up, and if you charge it up, you actually get +1 on block. So that's really good. So if you ever have a chance, charge that puppy up, and you get +1 on block. Her standing 4 gives her +2 on block. Yes, that little poke right there, believe it or not, gives her +2 on block. And her 3-4 string gives her +1 on block. But as you can see, depending on the range of the second kick out of the 2-in-1 that's at the end of the string, your opponent can actually armor through it. And I believe, well, your opponent can actually just reversal through it. And I believe on EX, they can completely armor through the string itself. No, they have to eat the string. So it's range dependent, but yeah, it's a possibility that they could go through that, but it's +1 on block, and I love it as a combo filler. And her variation exclusive frame trap starter is her back 1, which actually gives her +2 on block, and look at that range. And this is in Dragon Naginata. Now the reason you're probably only going to see Dragon Naginata in this video today is because this is the only variation that has a guaranteed positive move But keep in mind, back 1 is also 24 frames of startup. Let me make sure. Don't quote me on that. Let me make sure I got that correct. Yeah, 24 frames of startup. But look at all that range. And at that range, you get +2. Crazy. But anyway, we're going to get started with the real frame traps here and see what little gaps your opponents have to try to squeeze through. All right. So first, we're going to talk about her charge forward 3 and her 3-4. Both of those give you +1 on block. And don't worry, I am going to show off what they both look like going into their frame trap strings. So her charge forward 3. If you go into her standing 1, after this connects, it actually... No, I got a text. You actually get a 7-frame gap, but as you can see, you get crushed by lows such as slides or any sort of like low scoop or whatever, or even normals. If you go into this and your opponent is just, you know, reading you and they go for a low. Same thing with 3-4. You'll get crushed. So yeah, be careful with that. Now off the charge forward 3, down 1 is a 6-frame gap. Well, now what I've been finding with this up close is that it's kind of inconsistent. But if you do it at max range, I think because the recovery is range dependent with this, you can get the down 1 easily. And off of 3-4, oops, off of 3-4, same gap, little more consistent up close. But it's a really, really tight frame trap. As it is a 6-frame gap. So there you go. It's a very tight gap, 6-frame gap, but you can get it more consistent up close if you do 3-4. And with the forward 3, you pretty much have to do it almost at its kind of max range, which is like right here. And then these going into her uppercut is a 6-frame gap. Again, inconsistency issues with the range of the charge forward 3. But this can also be crushed by lows. So that's enough of the +1s. Now let's get to the better traps, which are the +2s. So you have your standing 4 and her Dragon Naginata back 1. Both give you +2 on block. So if you do standing 4 into her 1, you have a 6-frame gap, but it's crushed by lows. Same thing with her Dragon Naginata. You can see the one coming out, but it's just going to get crushed. Now check these out. We got a couple of 5-frame gaps, which makes these probably some of the best frame traps in this game. Unless somebody has something that's like +3 or up, where you can really get a real block string with fast recovery and stuff. So off of her standing 4 and her Dragon Naginata back 1, you can get down 1, which is a whopping 5-frame gap. I don't know why I said whopping. That's a wrong context of the word. But 5-frame gap. Who's really getting through that? Yep. That's crazy. Now, off with that Dragon Naginata back 1, depending on the range, is how tight it's really going to be. At least that's what I'm finding while I was looking at this last night and this morning. But if you practice it, you'll get it straight up. But definitely the more consistent is off of her standing 4. But keep in mind, her standing 4 is a high, and so is the Dragonata back 1. Dragonada. Dragonada. Somebody please quote that. Anyway. And you can also go into down 3, and down 3 is an 8 frame gap. So this is actually probably the least consistent off the +2s, depending on the reversal. But you can get some good trades, as you can see right there. Now, some extra notes at the end of this video here before I sign off. The reason I didn't go into any of the other variations, the Pyromancer or the Kobujutsu, is because she doesn't have any real guaranteed positive on block moves that are real block strings or just starting normals. She does have a couple of strings that do give her positives on block, which are the 2-4-3 string, 2-4-3, and the back 3-1-2 strings. And the reason I didn't go into these is because what you're gonna find is that they're not real block strings whatsoever. So if your opponent actually uses a meter, he can get out of this for free. He or she can get out of this for free. These are really good strings, but they can get out of it for free. But you can still throw in these strings for mix-up or just to test your opponent's reactions. And if they don't know how to armor through certain strings, then you can go ahead and abuse these, because these are really good mix-up strings. They get you +2, and yeah, it's just all cool from there. But if you know your opponent's been playing this game for a while, and they actually got in the lab with this character last night and saw what holes and gaps that she has and knows what everything looks like, you probably don't want to throw these strings out. So, and that's going to be a prevalent theme with this whole Trapped series, is that I'm going to be looking at things that give you positive on block, guaranteed. This is it. Nothing you can armor through while doing a string or whatever. This is what it is. Now, there are strings that do give you positive, like 2s and stuff, that are fully guaranteed block strings, and you will see those. But it doesn't seem like Tanya really has those. There it is, Tanya's frame traps. If I went too fast or you had to look at something again, you know, you can just go to certain spots and look at it, rewind, pause, slow down, whatever you can do on YouTube. Yeah, that's it. That's the first episode of Trapped. Stay tuned, because the next episode, I'm going to go to my favorite fighting game character of all time, Hanzo Hasashi. Yep, going to Scorpion next, guys. And he's got some nasty stuff for you. So take care.